Toodles! I don't know if that means hi or bye, but yes, that was a hi from me, whatever it means actually, literally वैसे. But I am back with um, another Instagram live and I would call it as my 176th, जबकि हमने 5:30 बजे 177 किया था. But why I am doing this session again with the same guest that we had yesterday is because there was some technical glitch in the sound. So I will not leave any stone unturned and any unfulfilled promises made to the audiences and to my dear guest. तो इसीलिए we decided to have this session again. Actually it was me who insisted the guest कि नहीं हम फिर से करते हैं and आपका live करते हैं फिर वापस. Surprisingly 50% of people they could hear our conversation. There was no sound issue and 50% of them they could not. Then what is the use, na? Okay, our guest is already. So yes, we'll have more interesting conversations. You might feel certain similarities in yesterday's and today's conversation, but yes, okay. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Yep, she's here. Hey, good evening.
Good evening, Kaveri. How are you?
I'm good without AirPods.
But, and what I have done today is I have taken off Spotify from my mobile phone completely because the song that was playing the other day, I think came from, I guess from Spotify. So, we're trying to minimize all errors this time.
Maybe. So keeping the fingers crossed, and I hope, because just now I had an Insta at 5:30 and the volume is super clear. The conversation is very much audible in there. So I'm hoping for this one again. So, okay, I'll start with the conversation now. I think, yes, that's what I was just telling the audience ki ho sakta hai ki some of the questions they might feel similar to yesterday, but actually that will be there because those were questions which were very impromptu and I had to take them because of the content the book has, the way our conversation was flowing, everything. So I'll begin with our conversation and Jai Hind, this is Dr. Kaveri Purandar from the platform of Pretty Much Everything. And I welcome you again on Pretty Much Everything, Pretty Much Everything's live session with our very special guest. And no, she's not a debutante on PME anymore. And with open arms and wholeheartedly, I welcome L. Aruna Dheer, very experienced international hospitality writer, PR head, and now an author. So welcome again on the platform of Pretty Much Everything, Aruna.
Thank you so much, Kaveri. Thank you for having me here. And a big hello to all the listeners, all the viewers. This time, I hope you'll have a glitch-free session. We both are absolutely charged. We've gone through the blame game, Kaveri's blamed herself for it. I blamed myself for it. But technology won last time. This time, we're going to trump the technology and get the better of it. So a big hello to everybody. And thank you, Kaveri. I must say, at the onset of it, like I mentioned in my post for announcing the session again, the fact that you did not want to cut corners or really have a half measure, and you wanted to do the session all over again because the recording could not be heard by half the world, just shows your professional ethics and your zeal and your passion and your pride in your wares. And really, it's so special, really, So thank you. A big thank you to you. So happy to be here.
I had to do this because I had to in fact face mirror every morning that, okay, and I'm answerable to myself more than to anybody else. So it's just like I had to do it. And probably this conversation will be more interesting than yesterday's. And
Absolutely.
I believe so.
Absolutely.
Okay. You know what? I was just running short of a gift wrapper today. So
right.
This is the way we kind of cover the book. It says, "Congrats, Aruna, love PME."
So sweet. That's very ingenuous. Thank you. That looks as nice or better than the gift wrap, Thank you.
Yeah. So, okay, within a count of three, I will kind of unveil it, and then, of course, we will have our traditional screenshot that I usually have it on PME. So, okay, it says 1, 2, 3, and ta-da! Hotel
Lovely.
Adventure with
Lovely.
the Stars. Okay, you have
Thank
this.
you. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You are holding it more elegantly, I must say that. Okay, let me hold it.
I learned it from you. I saw the recording, the mute recording from last time, and I was holding it
Oh,
all wrong. So I know that I have to keep it here now. So lesson learned,
okay.
right?
Oh, wow, so sweet. Okay. So,
Yes,
okay, we
thank
had
you.
three. So, congratulations once again on this,
Thank
and
you.
we have a
Thank
lot
you.
more to talk, a lot more to
Thank you.
discuss.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
What a pleasure.
So, very quickly, I will tell this that to all the people what is this book is all about. Guys, it's a very, very sweet, fun, and intriguing memoir. And it's about Aruna's journey while working in the PR industry as an interviewer, as an anchor. And of course, because of her profession, she got to meet a lot of celebrities from different fields, from sports, from acting, from glamour industry, everything. And with each one of them, and she had a lovely and fun meeting. And also, there is a lot of life lessons, which kind of,
Absolutely.
Anna has penned down in this beautifully. And I mean, I was just wondering, Aruna, there's so many celebrities. I think I'm forgetting count. I did count it this morning that how many have been mentioned over here. There's lot. And quickly talking about the book, yes, it's not only about, she has mentioned about boasting about, the meetings, her rendezvous. No, it's not about that. It's, she has very beautifully described the personality of that celebrity or of a known person she has met, what she has learned, and how the conversation has taken place between them. And every chapter has lovely messages along with some super interesting fun titles as well, so we'll surely talk about it. So,
Yes.
yes, to begin with, Aruna, I'll just finish off each and everything in around the book, and then we will come to the later part, which is also involves around these celebrities, but in a very different aspect. So,
Well, you're the
talking
boss.
first, yes,
I said you're the boss, right?
yeah, yeah. So, Hotel Adventures with the Stars. The title itself. So, any alternative title you had it in mind, or this was just stamped कि यही होना चाहिए?
You know, when I began working on the manuscript, Kaveri, I had a altogether different title in mind, and that stayed with me for a long, long time. And I have my literary agent, the co-founder of the book Bakers, Suhail Mathur, who has agented on this book as well. And for a long time, when I was communicating with him or sending him, part manuscripts, a chapter here, a chapter there, I kept sticking on to my title. And to my mind, that was imprinted on my mind, and I wanted to, go with that. And at one point, so the credit goes for the new title, and the title of the book that's been printed out goes to Suhail Mathur, who was very insistent. He put his foot down, and yes, absolutely, huge sort of gracias to him. He insisted that the title that I was floating around was not as good a
Yeah.
title, and then he gave me, 20 reasons why my title was not good and his was better. So the better rationale, the better logic, won over, and we have a better title on the book than what I began with, and I'm happy about it.
Okay, so would you like to kind of tell us what that title
No,
was, or
no, because there are too many, like you mentioned in your introduction, there are a huge number of celebrities I've met, through my different professional roles over the years, from different walks of life. There's a big bunch of them, and there is a part two still to be told. So I'm still holding that, earlier title close to my chest and see if that can be used again. So, it's all under
okay,
covers for the time being.
okay. Probably you can share it with me off the record.
Absolutely, absolutely. With you,
I'm very
anything.
curious to know what the title was. Of
Okay.
course, I'm not going to
All right.
use it
Will do.
anywhere, but I'm very curious what was your title which
Fair
you
enough.
had it in your.
Fair enough. I'll share it with
Okay.
you.
So when we are talking about the title, an interesting cover where you have shown Ritik hanging on the chandelier. Why is
Yes.
this?
Well, the cover is accumulation of, again, a thought process, a joint thought process between Suhail and me. We've spent several
Hmm.
sleepless nights over the cover, and we've gone through absolute minute details on the cover, which has really come out to be a work of art. If you see, it's one of the
Yeah.
most fascinating covers, and people are loving the cover as much as they're loving the book.
Yes.
And
Hmm.
and so between Suhail and me, we chose the number of celebrities that could go on the cover and who all to put, because there are about 27 celebrities who are being talked about in 27
Yeah.
stories within the book covers. So we had to, really think who all can be put across on the cover. So a decision was made in that direction. And then I think Ritik was Suhail's idea. And why we
Hmm.
chose Ritik is because, and why Suhail had him swinging from the chandelier is because of Ritik's fitness levels. He's one of the fittest actors in Bollywood, and of course his Doom
Yeah.
avatar, his action
He's an
movies that
action
he's
hero.
done,
Yes.
and really
Right.
he's all Adonis and he's all ripping muscles. So it was easy for us to show him swinging from the chandelier. So there you have Ritik doing that.
Wow. You know what I liked here? This one of my most favorite celebrity over here is this, the one in the pink sari.
That's very kind of you. Thank you. I take the compliment graciously, though that's not the truth,
Yes,
but I still take it very
and what
graciously.
I liked
Thank
about the
you.
whole, this illustration is that the face is of course exactly the same, and the body is a bit of cartoonish. So it does gives a sense of identity to a
Yes,
reader कि ये celebrity
yes,
कौन है, plus a
right.
fun element to the way the body is designed. If you can
That's it.
see it,
That's it.
yeah. So
Absolutely.
it's nice.
So it's
And Ritik hanging on, on a chandelier, it shows that he's an action hero, but at the same time,
that's
it's
it.
like fun. It's
That's
funny.
good. That's good. Absolutely. And in case of Mr. Shroff, Mr. Jackie Shroff, we've shown him with his favorite, elements. So there's a sort of, a cravat around his neck. There is his famous
Yeah.
shoes. These were handmade for him in Bombay. And then, of course, there is a plant that's hanging from his neck, which he's very fond of. He's a very, plant, and he's an
Sure.
environmentalist and a plant enthusiast. So he's a
Oh,
green
wow.
crusader. So we have that element. And incidentally, these shoes were chosen by Mr. Shroff for us. He told us that we can put, use this on the cover. So there is Mr. Shroff's, decision also that's gone on.
Very nice. Very nice. And how interesting is that to know your perspective on this whole idea? Because we, as a reader, we would not know, what to say, the idea behind and what all it takes for a cover to get finalized and what is the thought process. So it's very nice.
Absolutely.
All these things only, yeah.
I just wanted to add that it may look like a very artistic cover, but there are too many nitty-gritties and small elements that have gone into it. And we were very clear from the beginning. We didn't want, our hotel lobby to look like any other hotel lobby. So it's a very uniquely
Mm,
designed hotel lobby, though there are common elements of the balustrade, of the staircase
mm,
coming down, of the chandelier, of the artworks, but still you will not you won't find another one like this anywhere in the world. It's our design, it's
yeah.
our hotel, it's our hotel lobby. And then little thoughts have gone into the kind of, paintings we put on the wall, the clarity of those paintings, and then also the color of the Persian rug that is, beneath our feet. We had to really, come down to what exact shade did we want the carpet to be in. So we chose a lovely, lovely shade of royal blue, to be the shade of the carpet. So really
Wow.
the minutest of details have been looked into. And finally, almost towards the last stage, we were, contemplating, we were deciding, we were sort of, confabulating, is it all right? Is it okay? Should it be the final cover? When Suhail said something is amiss. And the next day he came up and he says, we want lights there. So it was like the cosmic, switch that had been put on, and
Yeah.
suddenly the lobby was all lit up. So really, it was a fascinating experience. We had a lot of fun as well designing it.
Okay. So adding to what more, what else makes the title very very interesting is immensely readable. This
Yes,
is the feedback by
yes,
Ruskin Bond, and
yes,
he's one
yes,
of the celebs that you had met, in
yes,
person, had a conversation, you had been to his place. Um, if you want to share any moment with Ruskin Bond with us right now.
Well, I just want to sort of repeat what I've said earlier, that I'm very fortunate that Mr. Bond, Ruskin agreed to give that lovely endorsement to the book. And the thing is that, I've known him for many, many years as a younger person and growing up in Dehradun. And we had a very good common friend. His name is Mr. Brahmdev, who was a very, very well-known photojournalist out of Doon Valley and himself a well-established Hindi author. His shop, an absolutely magnificent old world colonial charm shop in Astley Hall on Rajpur Road, the famous landmark in Dehradun, was the hub of a lot of literary activity. A lot of well-known, literatures from Dehradun would gather in his shop for chai and conversation. Ruskin Bond was one of them. So Brahm Uncle, I used to call him Brahm Uncle. Brahm Uncle and Ruskin had grown up together as young boys. When Ruskin came, back from his school and found roots in Dehradun, and Uncle, returned from Burma, I think, to find his place, of life and living and work in Dehradun. So it was Brahm Uncle who got me introduced to Ruskin Bond, and I would show my writings to Ruskin, my pieces of hardly written prose or sketchily written poetry, and ask for his feedback, because here I was, Ruskin's been a very well-known author for a very, very long time. So, and he's been, a collective idol for all of us. So it was a pleasure, and it was a matter of fortune to be able to, it was very fortuitous, for me to be able to show my writings to him and ask for his, point of view. And he always had a kind word. And that has carried on, I'm really, like I said, I'm shocked and surprised that he, in spite of my having bothered him so much, so many times, he still had, had the graciousness to say such lovely words for the book. So I'm really grateful to Ruskin Bond for his endorsement and for saying what he has.
Wonderful. Wonderful to know about this whole process, and of course your rendezvous with them again. And as I said yesterday also, we had a discussion on this, but because of the technical issue, perhaps that's why I said a few things are best for the second time. So I think some of the questions might be repetitive, but with a different base and format altogether. So talking about the title, cover, everything, we have some really funny titles to the chapters that you have given. 27 chapters, and one. I mean, not giving any spoilers, but I'll just leave it up to the readers that they'll keep guessing it. One is, at last I became a Bhidu too. This is guessable. And this one. And I kept Madhuri Dixit waiting. I mean, somebody will be very much intrigued to know what has happened that, Aruna had kept Madhuri. Why Madhuri was waiting for Aruna, first of all.
Absolutely.
And, what went wrong or what transpired between them. Was Madhuri angry? And whether Aruna and Madhuri had an argument or something like that. So, one more thing, Sanju said, I love you to me.
That's correct. Though I'm not his, I don't know, when he was, when his biopic was coming out, he himself admitted that he had about, 330 girlfriends or something like that. So I have not been part of those 330 at all. I was very young that time, I was almost a young, very young person. But yes, Sanju said, I love you too much. So, go and read the book and find out why did he say that,
And how and why, we'll just leave up to the readers to find out.
Absolutely. That's correct.
Okay. So I think we spoke a lot about the book and, in and around the titles, everything. Now coming on to some of the very important and very valuable questions. I mean, your answers will be, I know. So first question, of course, I asked yesterday also, and today the same thing I would want to ask. That you actually, that is something that actually had impacted me a lot. That one line, we are not always the author of the story of our own lives. There are so many people around us. Sometimes, the interaction with them, there are certain instances with them. So they kind of become authors on our lives. But at the same time, it is said that we only write a story on the life pathway, the way we travel in this journey called as life. So what you have said is a really big statement, very meaningful. So I just want to know, why did you say that in the book?
Well, first of all, congratulations to you, Kaveri, for really, focusing on that one line that I have mentioned in my prologue, because, it shows your bent of mind and your, the profoundness in your thought process that made you sort of go down and focus on those lines, which seem like simple lines, but they have a lot of meaning. And why I say that we are not the author of our own lives is because we are one of the we are the protagonist, or we are one of the protagonists, but the director is the Almighty, and the co-director is destiny. So and there are a lot of actors in our life story. The significant others, the peers, friends, the sort of well wishers, also the not so well wishers. They all have a part to play in our life, and our roles, the circumstances play a very important role, in how our life gets defined. So we are only actors, on the screen of our on the scape of our life. We feel that we can have a control over it. We feel that we just know what we wish and what we want from our life, but we don't know what's going to happen. So how our life, takes progress is a cumulative, mixture of a melange of a whole lot of things, and we are only the participants really. So we are not
Yeah.
truly the authors of our own lives. Yes.
Yeah, very, very well said. And I understood now that why you had that. It's all in life philosophy, and we have
Yes.
discussed a lot on life philosophy, human psychology, in recent times. I'm glad. And along with it, why, thank you for the compliment that you gave, that one sentence actually got me.
Yes.
That's, I also feel that there are certain things, when while reading, I don't agree with that statement made by the author, or maybe certain what to say, certain perspective I don't agree with. But at the same time, I also respect that each one of us have different perspective,
Absolutely.
different thoughts.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
certain things I also discuss off the record with the author. Why was the reason you said this? Why was
True.
the
True.
reason you mentioned this? So it always makes a discussion also very interesting.
Absolutely. And when you talk about people, we all are not grains of rice. We are different, in so many aspects, right? Today I
Yeah,
was remarking because, as authors, we really, I say that, when you become an author, you also become a beggar, because, people are not very kind towards authors. Authors are very, 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 very small business people, independent business people who have to,
yeah,
sell their own wares to the wide audience, hoping, first of all, our work comes out of a lot of passion, a lot of sort of, effort and zeal and energy, and a lot of us has gone into it. So we aspire and we want and we wish that people will like to, read our words and enjoy and find value in those words. But it's not always the case. And, there's so much happening around the world. There's so much, that, is fighting for our attention, that books are a very small part of it. So to be able to bring, first of all, bring your book and expose it to the audience, which might love your writing, is a whole big task. So you have to,
yeah,
go around with the begging bowl saying, here it is, I think I've done a great job, please, at least read it and tell me what you think about it. And then we'll go on, forward. Some people would not even respond to a communication. And there are all kinds of people, some people will. And those people who will is a very small percentage as compared to people who will be rude, or who will be uncivil, or who will be ill-mannered. And as human beings, you have the thought process that, oh God, so and so has behaved very badly with you. But the idea is, to the moment that thought comes into your head and I realize it, and I think that's a mark of evolution and growth as well. You're growing on in your life and in your age as well, and experiences. That the moment that thought comes into your head, you quell it. And you say, I'm not going to, let any negative energy touch me. If they haven't responded, it's them. It's a reflection of their character, not of my work or myself. So go on, be happy and be optimistic, and do your very best with positivity. That's a lesson that keeps, thrusting itself on us every single day. The more we sort of, meet with people and communicate with people. So that's part of the
Yeah.
writer's, this is also in a writer's life as well.
Okay, okay, wonderful and very well said. Oh my goodness.
Thank
So
you.
that also, you know, when we are talking about different personalities, different perspectives, different people, so that brings me to my next question that you have met these celebrities without their bodyguards and probably couple of staff, you know, managers and stylists to उस time पे होते नहीं थे कि, you know, that at present people carry, you know, 10 staff members. But उस time पे
Absolutely.
hardly one manager and probably a bodyguard or so.
Correct.
Or someone,
Sometimes not
you know,
even that.
somebody, yeah,
Sometimes not even that. Sometimes I've just met them all alone. Many people,
all alone.
just them and
Yeah.
me. So it's just been very private as well.
Yes, and also like for example, you met Hrithik Roshan when he was lunching with his then wife Suzanne Khan, and you know you had a very cordial conversation with him, and probably completely they are in their unfiltered forms because they are
Yes,
not on the screen, not in front of the camera.
that's correct.
So how
That's correct.
different are all these celebrities, all these 27 I'm talking about, because you actually spoke to them. There must be sure many, but as per the book I can see 27 at this moment at the book. So, how different it was to see them or interviewing them somewhere else and also meeting them in person. So, how different are they, or is it
No.
only in our mind
It's
that ye
exactly.
kuch different ho gaya?
Exactly. I think they, because they are seen on the big screen, a whole lot of them, also people who may not be film stars, but they are very big stars in their chosen professions, like, Kapil Dev in sports, or Kiran Bedi in administration and the police force, and also
Yes,
now, in politics, and so on and so forth. They are mega stars in their, chosen fields of life. They can become very sort of, conscious of their fame. Also, I think they become very adept at putting on, a facade for the sake of the audience that they sort of, come and meet across, or the media that they sort of, come in touch with, or the masses they sort of, when they meet them, in large forum. But when you meet them personally, or when you meet them at, private level, I think they're just the same. They're just like us. They're no different. They are good human beings and bad human beings among them. There are, fabulous, very well behaved stars, and they're badly behaved stars, just like us. There are stars who may have a good day or a bad day, and they may react accordingly as we do, with people in our circle. So, down under the skin, under the grease paint, under the facade, they're just the same. They're just like you and me, really, So it was no different. It was like meeting another good person, another, fun person at many times. So, yeah.
lovely, lovely. So some of the celebrities about which, like, whom I have just kind of read your meetings with Shubha Muddalji and of course Maneka Gandhi. Why I have specifically mentioning these two names, because also you all three are animal lovers. Maneka
Yes.
Gandhi ji ho gayi ya Shubha Muddalji ho gayi. You
Yes.
guys are like, so did this common factor made things or made your conversations more easier than expected?
Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. Though Shubhaji I met not because of our, fondness or love for animals. I met
Yeah.
her for a business reason.
Hmm.
All the times I met her for business reasons, work related. But eventually, over the years, we found out that we both were animal lovers, and she did reach across to me, for an animal related, issue, for a dog related issue, and she happened to. One fine day we were speaking over Facebook, and she said, by the way, there's a fantastic group on Facebook called the Dog People. Are you aware of it? And so I told her with a laugh that I am the founder of that group. So it was a very funny sort of exchange, because
Yeah.
my group connected us all over again after all those years. We
Yes,
were
yes.
reuniting for a common cause, and our love for
Hmm.
animals connected us there. With Menaka ji, it's always
Understood.
been about love for
And yeah.
animals, and about how much of an animal crusader she is. She's the biggest voice in our country, for fighting
Yes.
for animal rights. So really, hats off to her. And that's I have
Mm.
huge respect for her from this point of view, really.
Yeah. We also have a lot of common factors. We both
Yes.
kind of, you two met Dr. Kiran Bedi personally, but I want to, but I don't know when. And though we had a virtual interview twice, with her, it was lovely. And also we do interviews, you and I.
That's
So
correct.
I hope,
That's right.
so anybody who's
Absolutely.
watching us right now, please search on YouTube Archie's book launch and Aruna Dheer. You will see her video
Yes.
first, and that
Thank
is how
you.
I was like, oh my God, मैंने तो ये video देखा है. I remembered that. But of course,
Yes.
as the time went by, but your hairstyle has remained the same, huh?
That's right. Absolutely. That's correct. What's I used to have long hair. I used to have thick, long plaits hanging, in front of my
Oh,
sort of, persona, my body.
yeah.
And at one time, I got my hair cut to
Hmm.
immense chagrin of my mother. I really annoyed her with that. She was in love with my long tresses, and she did not want me to cut my hair, but I did eventually. And so it was a new me that came out, and I felt anew as well. And since then, I've had this
Yeah.
haircut really. So yeah, I'm happy with it.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. And we're talking about these intense conversations, discussions that we had a bit here and there. But coming on to this ढाई kilo ka haath rendezvous, you had this funny thing. Actually, it was funny, which actually I also
Absolutely.
cracked up while reading it. So I'm not going to say what it was, but
Really.
yes, you made Sunny Deol laugh. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, but that's you're right. You sort of hit the bullseye. Because Mr. Deol has a very serious persona. He comes across as a very reclusive person. He's not garrulous at all. He speaks, in very measured tones. He speaks very less. So to be able to, get him out of the element when he was chatty and he laughed, he laughed out loud and he enjoyed himself. I think that was a good, good moment, and it was good to see that part of him as well. So it was really nice. Enjoyed meeting him.
Wonderful.
Yes, yes.
I was just wondering, na, ki sometimes do you sit, sometimes relaxed on a couch or something, and you have analyzed your journey from where it had begun, and then so for so many years you have been working, meeting whole lot of people. I mean, I must say, and then from to the place where you are now. So what do you kind of, can you just define that whole evolution process of your life?
Well, I call myself the favorite child of lost Kaveri because, I have faced a whole lot of, a whole string of big losses in my life and really big ones. So I feel that, am I audible? Because my eardrums made a little beep. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Oh. So I feel that God's put me in the role of a survivor and a fighter, and so I play along in that role. To be able to be to have the privilege to be here and then come down and then to sort of scale up. Climb up that mountain, go up again, then come down. Because of some circumstantial factors or the loss that I keep talking about, losses have been the main reason why I have sort of, found myself down. But to be able to, get up, dust up, rise up, climb up, I think it's been a life full of that. It's been a life of vicissitudes and sharp, curves. And I'm happy when I look back. I'm happy about that. It adds new elements. It contributes to new traits to your personality, and I think it makes you a very strong and courageous person. And yeah, I have no sort of remorse. I'm just happy that I have experienced all that I have. It gives me a new better mind as well, right?
All right.
And new sort of levels of emotion. So happy about that, right? Quite happy.
Okay, because I remember reading in your book that when you were appointed as the PR head communications during your work tenure at Imperial, if I'm right. So it brought a lot of envy within people around you. So I remember reading that.
Well, I have been the first director of PR and communications in India in five-star hotels.
Hmm.
Earlier, this designation was not there in our country, at least. And my being appointed as director PR started a trend. And soon after, a lot of other hotels, a lot of other people started demanding, and started following in the footsteps. So there have been several firsts in my career, and this was one of it. And it's been nice. And when you work, hotels is a very people centric industry, and as people we bring all our sort of big bucket of attributes, and personality traits into the fora. So it's all right, you meet all kinds of people, and you have to.
Right.
You keep talking about life lessons. You keep learning from all of them all the time. Something you pick up from X, something you pick up from Y, either by saying yes to their trait or saying no to it. Yet you still pick up a life lesson. So it's okay. It's good
Okay.
to deal with people dynamics too.
Okay, so my dear friend Shilpa is saying that's an inspiring journey. Yes, indeed, Shilpa. And I
Thank you.
must mention that she is one of the very, very dear friend and very strong supporters that I have, whether it is Instagram Live, whether she is, whether I have FB Live, she will be there unless until she is traveling. She will be there online. She'll watch it throughout. She'll send me some lovely screenshots of the same. So, I'm very, very fortunate to have her as one of my friends. And though she's my virtual friend, we are yet to meet in person. So thank you, Shilpa. I got a chance to say this on my Insta Live. Thank you so much, dear.
And I would like to say
And
thank you to Shilpa as well for her involvement and for her support. It's precious, Shilpa. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
yeah, she has been commenting. Thank you, Shivani, and thank you, Asha. Oh God, there are a lot many more. Thank you, guys. Thank you. And before we wind up, Aruna, I have one question, but it has two aspects. One thing is, where do you see uh, writing, or maybe the write-ups on hospitality industry now in India, and at the same time, where do you see women writers? I mean, the position where they are, where do they stand, in especially in our country? So, what is, if you can just have give your opinion on the same?
Are you talking about women authors or are you talking about women writers in hospitality? What is your question specifically about? Or are you talking about
It can
both?
be amalgamation. It can be amalgamation of both. So let us begin with, where do you see women writers, specifically in the field of hospitality writing, in those field.
Well, one of the best known writers in hospitality globally is a woman, and her name is Mary Gostelow. And she's really the
Hmm.
high priestess of writing in hospitality. So, and she's been doing it for donkey's years, for generations. She's been, holding the flag high and holding her fort. I feel that there are as many women writers in hospitality as there are men. And women have a space and a place for themselves in hospitality writing. If I talk about writing in general, I have the same opinion. I am of the belief that writing has been, as a profession, has been kind to women and has not entertained too many biases. It's not affected by gender bias so much. It could be affected by other things, but not so much gender. There have been people like Sarojini Naidu or Virginia Woolf or Ismita Chugtai or Amrita Preetham or our favorite Enid Blyton or Emily Dickinson. So over the years we've had a lot of them. J.K. Rowling now, who's the
Yeah.
topmost writer in terms of her fame and popularity and her financial success. So over the years, I think writing has been a very kind profession to women. All you need to do is be sure about what you want to convey, how you want to write, and be meritorious about it. I think the audience respects and values the merit and also expects a good value that you bring to the table. If your books bring value to the readers, I think they're going to love you as much whether you're a male or a female or any part of LGBTQ, because that's a very rising, important part of the population that's coming up and has a very strong voice, and I really really support them quite a lot. So really,
Okay.
so it's not any bias that I feel. I do not believe that.
Okay. Wonderful. I think you have very beautifully summed up the answer for both my queries. So,
Thank you.
hi. And before we just wind up, just quickly, Aruna, if you'd like to say hi to all the people who will watch, who are watching, and who would watch later.
A big, big hello to everybody and a big word of gratitude to all those who have joined. Also, gratitude and anticipation to those who will hear us later on in their free time. I hope you find some value out of our conversation, and I hope you like what one has written, and I hope you go back and dig into the book and enjoy these fantastic anecdotes with 27 celebrities in Hotel Adventures with the Stars.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. And I'm keeping fingers crossed that once I share this media file, it has sound. Please, we had
Absolutely,
again a wonderful
absolutely.
conversation, probably with added value and more anecdotes than yesterday. But I really
Absolutely.
hope that it has a sound. I mean,
I have to. I will quickly thank my publishers also, Vishwakarma Publications, for their support and for being absolutely genial and professional and being so
yeah.
supportive of authors. And like Suhail Mathur, one of the most dynamic literary agents we have today, said to me that you are a fantastic moderator, Kaveri, and I second that completely. And I wanted to say it on the platform because
Thank you.
what you did very astutely and very cunningly, sharply, is that you made this session quite different from the previous session in the way you sort of, wove around the questions. So thank you for doing that, and thank you for bringing out different responses from me. So that is a good talent to, have and propagate. So thank you. Thank you. Enjoyed it very
Okay,
much.
my pleasure, my pleasure. Deepika and Shilpa both are saying that lovely session. And Shilpa wishes you all the best, Aruna ma'am, for all your
Thank you.
endeavors.
Thank you. And I wish you the same. All the very best for your unique journey as well, Shilpa. And everybody. Nitya's joined us as well, and there is Shub Shlab, who's joined us, and there is Nupur who's joined
Yeah.
us. So really, thank you, and a big, round of applause and lots of best wishes to all the listeners who are hearing us now, who are watching us now, and who will watch us later. All the very best in your journeys.
On this wishful note, this is Dr. Kaveri signing off from the platform of Pretty Much Everything for the one last time before you hear me again. And warm hugs to you, Aruna, for being here and again having this wonderful 176 session on the platform of Pretty Much Everything.
Thank you. Thank you. You kept harping about 176 and how you wanted it to be a 176. When you add up 176, that's 7, 6, 13, 114. I'm a number 14. My date of birth is 14. So I was just thinking, why was Kaveri so insistent about 176 for our session? There you go. That's another reason, right?
Oh,
So, so
the universe,
ordained.
the
Absolutely.
universe conspired.
That's correct. That's correct. That's so
Oh,
true. No,
wonderful.
enjoyed it. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Aruna. Thank you, everyone. This is Dr.